what are some resources you could recommend to writers? Websites, books you've read, maybe 2 or 3 things that you could recommend to the lovely people here. And then we might have some Q&A here at the end. You'd have to step up and hold this mic or do something, because if the camera shoot you, it'll be the back of your head mumbling and we won't hear you. So Bill, what's a couple resources you could point somebody at?
The most obvious is the Nickel Fellowship, which Deb and I have been talking about because we both were in it, and it certainly did a lot for me. Again, I was lucky enough to get an agent through that, but if you don't go that route, find an agent somehow, even if you have to write cold letters, letters of introduction and a little synopsis of what your thing is about, try to get an agent. And I don't really have any experience with the kind of conferences that you talk about, where you're pitching to 20 people a day or something, but I'm sure that's an outlet too.
So, Deb, why don't we talk about that? What's a resource?
Four resources. One is go to your library, because we have free things that you can use there. You don't have to buy books if you can't afford them. And I know when you're a writer, you're struggling, you don't have money. So go to the library, get your screenwriting books. Blake Snyder's Save the Cat. I'm saying this because that is like a hot book in Hollywood right now. Everybody that I know, and people who I don't know but have heard of, they're reading this Save the Cat, and they're looking at scripts saying, okay, does it follow the Blake Snyder's Save the Cat kind of structure? They are looking kind of for that formulaic commercial thing. That's what Hollywood is all about right now. And then thank goodness we have also the independent world who's doing the other stuff. But if you have the blockbuster stuff, get Save the Cat by Blake Snyder, read it, because it's on everybody's tongue right now, and it's on everybody's mind. So get it and know it. The other thing is, there are conferences called pitch conferences. There's the Great American Pitch Conference. There's NATP's Pitch Conference for TV writers. There's the American Film Market, which is a little different if you're a writer. Writers are welcome. It's usually for people who have a project that's in production or in development. However, I don't have anything that's actually shot, but I go with my one sheet and I call them beforehand and I say, I'm a 2-time Nickel Fellowship semifinalist. That helps. So if you've won a contest or even placed in a contest, mention that. And can you still hear me? If not, I'll talk louder. I think I just went out.
Keep going.
Keep going? Okay. Find a pitch conference and go there, because what they do is you will have a whole weekend to learn the ropes. They'll show you how to do it. They'll give you little workshops, and the next day you just pitch. This room that you see around you, take a look. See all the chairs here? Picture that many tables. That's how many studios and companies are at these pitch fests, and you go from one table to the next, and it's all timed. You get like a 5-minute pitch. It's like speed dating. It really is. And you sit down for 5 minutes yourself and your project, the bell rings, and if they like you, they ask you to keep staying. You don't have to get up and move to the next table. But that's one way. I actually found several people that I'm working with now through these pitch conferences. I would also volunteer for pitch conferences. You can go online and see if they need volunteers. I ended up working for Robert McKee, and I don't know if you know that name or not. I see lots of heads nodding. He's like this big screenwriting guru. So I was his lackey last summer for the Great American Pitch Fest. And he's not nearly as nasty as people like to say he is. He's a teddy bear. He's really, really nice. But he has a lot of clout, and he'll introduce you to a lot of people. So, volunteer and see if you can get, a volunteer job that will really help move you out of the ranks a little bit, get you to network with some other people. So American Film Market we mentioned, Great American Pitch Fest. Yeah, anything like that, guys. And just get on the internet, just type in screenwriting pitch conferences and see what's out there, and then start going to the posting boards and see what sounds legitimate. I know I'm talking fast because I know you're trying to wrap up the time. That's what I do, because I don't have an agent to guide me or a manager to hold my hand, so I have to hold my own hand. Get a plane ticket. Or you can email me. If you guys have Facebook, you see my name. You can find me on Facebook, I think you can. I've been told you can't. But
I found you.
Find Scott and you can find me.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
So, Andy, what about screenwriting classes? A waste of time, right?
Definitely. No, classes are definitely, I mean, I took classes when I first moved to California. You meet people in the classes, and, you learn something. I mean, anything you can learn creatively or from a business point of view is valuable. If you can go to Los Angeles, I mean, eventually you may have to make the move to Los Angeles if you really want to do it seriously. You can always get jobs, if you're willing to work for free, you can get internships with pretty much anybody. I mean, you call up a producer and say, I'll come and work for free, they'll say, how soon can you get here? And you'll make a lot of contacts that way. You may be answering phones or doing Xeroxing, but you'll make the connections. The big agencies have agent trainee programs. I think you need a college degree to get into that. You'll do slave labor for like $3 an hour for 6 months. But again, you'll make so many contacts that's what it's all about. There are books, I mean, like Hollywood Creative Directory, which I don't know if they're going out of business or something now, but they have lists of all agents, managers, producers, studio executives. You can get addresses, phone numbers, see who's willing to read unsolicited material, who won't read unsolicited material. And the great thing about now, as opposed to when I was getting started, is that you've got electronic communication. So it's so simple to send emails to people, and everybody reads their email because it only takes you 2 seconds to read your email. So if you send an email to an agent or a producer and you just say, spec script, they'll at least look at it and see what you have to say. And if they want to respond, they'll respond in 2 seconds. If they don't, you just will never hear back. But you can basically send the same letter, the same email to 100 different people in the course of an hour. You don't have to actually do a hard copy and mail it out and spend money and do any of this. Just make sure you change the name when you send it to people. I've gotten responses, Dear David, it kind of makes it look like you're not real serious about this.
What you said about internships, I think, is really important too. A lot of it is just being there with the right people every day. Because I mean, I wasn't an intern, but just some of the people I knew. I can't remember the guy's name at this moment. Forgive me, but a few years ago I saw a movie, and in the credits was executive producer, and it was the guy that used to bring us sandwiches when we were working on Jonah Hex. It was like it's that ridiculous, that just being there around the people every single day. He was the intern that probably got paid. If he got paid anything, it was next to nothing, and he brought us sandwiches and ran around and did errands for the producer, and
It's a small bubble.
Yeah, it's just a lot of it's just being there.
Yeah. I mean, when Shawshank Redemption shot up in Mansfield, OSU grad Dave Johnson went up, got on the film, became Frank Darabont's assistant for like 6 years, and now the guy, he wrote The Orphan, was it Red Riding Hood? He's just co-writer on Wrath of Titans, and he's written several episodes of The Walking Dead. So he used an opportunity. He didn't have to go to L.A. to get in the door, but L.A. came to him in a sense. But yeah, you have to make a good impression. Another resource I recommend is DVD, commentary tracks, the ones with the writers. I'm watching Mad Men,